bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
Hey, welcome to another exciting episode of Cap or No Cap. I am your host, Kevin C. Meggett. Andy King is out today, but I got a treat for you. When I created this show, I had two women that were really was doing this show with me, but one couldn't come on because of her work schedule, and the other one is actually here today. We're gonna bring her on today, and I'm so happy I don't want to call her my special guest, but she is actually the original guest of this show, and her name is Janaea Butler. Janaea, what's up? How's it going?
No cap.
No cap. I'm not capping. How you doing? I bumped into her last night. We was at the Super Bowl party, and you want to talk about that?
Absolutely. First of all, big up hip hop, the hip hop Super Bowl. That's where we're dubbing it, right? The hip hop Super Bowl.
That's right.
Big up hip hop. Last night, they showed up, showed out. All I gotta say is Snoop Crip walked across the stage. That's it. He did it. You know, that was like the story last night of when we always talk about what we would do at the White House, like the first barbecue.
Right.
I was like, what all the LA dudes would do at the Super Bowl if they did the halftime show.
Right.
And they did.
And they did it.
They did it 100%. Pulled no punches, had the dickies, the cat, that had everything going, the cars, you know, the low riders and all of that. So big up Dre and the whole crew. Eminem, Neil, did you see that?
Well, you know, that couldn't have been done if it wasn't for Colin Kaepernick. I mean,
right.
that halftime was courtesy of Colin Kaepernick.
But how do you feel about that?
I'm on the fence. I mean, because we at some point, when we started boycotting the Super Bowl, we didn't have an agenda involved. You know, what was the agenda? Was it to get him hired back? You know what I mean? The agenda didn't work. So do we continue with the boycott? I mean, you know what I mean? Like it.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. Let me tell you a little story, Kat. So
okay.
And I think that I can tell it now because we're past that, as
right.
Jay-Z said. We're past kneeling, right?
Right.
So during the whole ordeal, I was able to get a call between Colin Kaepernick and Reverend Jesse Jackson, right?
Okay.
About Colin going back to the NFL. It was very, very early. It was before that he blew off anything. It was before anything had gotten crazy. And so Reverend had told him, you did what Kurt Flood was looking to do. So you went the furthest, right? So Kurt Flood was a baseball player that was the first free agent, right?
Right.
He refused to stay on the team. He was the first free agent. He wanted to be traded. So Kurt Flood stood in the way for that. And now this is where we are today. So what Kurt Flood did years ago, the players are now able to be traded if they don't like their contracts and things of that nature. So people have to take a stand. So what Reverend was telling him, Reverend was saying, you took it the furthest. You have an opportunity now basically to put your foot on their neck and tell them what you want.
Right.
But he chose the opposite direction. And that opposite direction was a mystery to all of us. So I think that he had some handlers that had had an agenda that may or may not work. I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming it worked for them because they had the payout. And when we talk about the undisclosed amount that he got paid, right? So are you crusading if the undisclosed amount? Are you crusading if we're still not hearing about you just because you're not in the mainstream? Are you still crusading? So I think that we have to talk about that too, because I don't think that last night could have happened without Colin Kaepernick.
Absolutely.
Now, I respect that Eminem now, because I was like, damn, they should at least bring out Kaepernick. I know that they're not going to let him in the stadium, but that's where all of this came from.
Right.
And like I said, on the phone with Kaepernick, I mean, if you asked me, he didn't want to play. And that's just if you ask me. I'm not starting any rumor or anything like that, but I heard
You're right.
him on, and I'm an athlete, you know what I'm saying? So if you ask me, he didn't want to play.
No, I got you. Well, social media has been talking about how 50 cents upside down looked like he was 350. You know, he put on a lot of weight. He's eating. That's the only thing I can tell you.
He's in love.
He's in love and he's eating. I mean,
right.
You know,
when you're in love, you know what I'm saying? And happy Valentine's Day to everybody that's celebrating this pagan Saint Valentine massacre. Happy Valentine's Day to you.
Right.
Okay. I want to give you a happy Valentine's Day to all those in your heart. You're celebrating death.
Right.
And so we have to be honest about the things that we're celebrating. We're spending money because somebody is telling us that this day that Saint Valentine went on a crusade and killed for his woman, that you're going to celebrate that with the love for your woman or your man. And we have to know the truth, Pat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem. We don't. We just everything that we do is ceremonial, is ritual. You know what I mean? We did it because our parents did it and their parents did it, and we gotta be able to identify what we're actually doing, and then have an intelligent enough sense of or understand to say, do we want to continue to do that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, because 50 is in love, right? So you got this girl, Cuban Link, and they lovey-dovey. She playing her position. Big up to you, Cuban Link. She's playing her position, and he looks like he's calm. He's able to get stuff done, and that's what men gotta understand. You can't be running around with 80 different women and thinking that you're gonna get something done.
Right.
It's not gonna happen. I mean, you gotta pick your poison, right?
Right.
At the end of the day. So again, big up 50. I didn't find. I seen him. Where his top half looks a little full or whatever. Again, like you said, he's eating. He got 5 shows. There's no time. I mean, there's no time to work out like
right.
that. I'm gonna give 50 that. He's giving us excellent programming.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very impressed behind the programming that he's giving us back to back. He's keeping us entertained, right? And I think that he's using his, 50 Cent skills to do that.
I really think too. He actually kicked open the door when it came to television because of him. A lot of other now rappers are jumping into television, but 50 jumped into it at a time when it wasn't popular. And shout out to him for being innovating that way. You know what I mean? It didn't, even if he was 350, it didn't make me no difference. I mean, I was like, but I seen a lot of jokes on the.
Should have been upside down.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because all the blood probably rushed to his head and he got all swole up there like, I can't do this for much longer. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
But I thought Mary J was fabulous. You know, like
Mary J was awesome. Looked great.
yeah, she looked great. I found that isn't she dating some like 28-year-old guy or something like that? Some football player? Yeah. So some 28-year-old guy. Shout out to Mary, man. Like I love her so much. Yeah.
That's cougar. That's cougar lanes, Mary. I can't do it. I can't do these young whippersnappers. I can't do it because it's a catch-22. Let's just talk about that really quick.
Okay.
What's happening in our communities? Like we're seeing a lot of these rappers, and I'm happy about it. Cardi B married to Offset. We're seeing this marriage trend. With babies. Let's hope that Rihanna gets married to
ASAP Rocky. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Let's do all those things that we think can be done. But when we're looking at in our community, when you always talk about foundational Black Americans and what we need to do in our community, we need to push more of the marriage and the family values because America is built on a two-family party system, right? So it's two people in a household working for a common goal. And that's what will give you the American dream. So we're working completely away from the American dream and then wondering why we can't get it, right? So these young kids that are healthy or not healthy in these relationships, we need to steer them in the right direction. And
that's
so
a fact.
Got to, grab on to that and push them in the right direction.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And those are the values that we once had when we came up in the 50s. That's what we were doing. We had everything together. Like foundational Black men and Black women were coming. We were coming out of slavery together, and we were actually doing things that we needed to do as a family. So when you had the whole feminist movement, that didn't really apply to us. That was the white woman that had a problem with the white man. That was her problem. But they drug us into it, and I don't know if you've seen the TV show, or the movie, not the TV show, the movie Claudine, but the depiction of you can't have the federal government will take care of you. Just get rid of your man. That's what really hurt us. And truth be told, I've never said anything popular, but I claim to tell the truth. What you have
it's interesting that you say that because if we identify that as a problem, we can reverse that.
Right. It's very reversible. But when you look at the people, the people in the folks that were in the projects, the queens of the projects were single Black women. And they had to really hide their Black men. But you're right. That's irreversible. We could reverse all of that tomorrow. We can
reverse that. Yep. And I think that's a great point. Is that looking at the Black family, right, and how we rebuild the actual Black family, where we're going with it, right?
Right.
And looking at the structure from if they're designing prisons at the rate that our kids are in the 4th grade, then we have to make sure that by the time they get to the 4th grade, that they're nowhere near a prison standard. That
That's
they're
right.
more of excellence, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we can do that, but what we have to do is we have to equip the young mothers and the young people out here that have children, single families. We have to equip them with the blueprint,
right?
Not the lucky print,
right?
The get lucky print, meaning, hey, if you try this, try that, try this. No, the blueprint that has the guide to the American dream. And then we need some people to step up, Kev. We need some people to step up and say, hey, I'm gonna be a good man. I'm gonna be a good husband. I'm gonna raise a family. Right? I'm going to raise a family and I'm going to invest in the future of Black culture. You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
We have to have those in it. We have to have the men and women that say, me too, Me too. This is what we're going to do. And so we will have to set up our future. So when we talk about white privilege, right? White privilege is not something that's given. It's made, right? It's man-made white privilege. Okay? It's not just something because they are white, they got the privilege. It's something that because they are white, they decided to give themselves some privilege. They decided to make sure that their kids were good. You understand what I'm saying? They decided to make sure we're going to take care of our kids. The men are going to stay in the house because these are the benefits that come with that. And so we got to stop living on our ego and our id and start living within some means of something. You understand? Because we keep living outside our means, we're not going to have anything. They say that our value is going to be zero in maybe 20, 30 years. Zero, that we're,
That's
zero.
the truth. You know what's crazy? I'm gonna jump in. You're absolutely right. We're gonna jump right back into what we're saying. This is why I had you on the original Cap or No Cap, and I'm glad because you meet my energy. You're animated. But we're gonna take a real quick commercial break. But we're gonna come right back and we're gonna jump right. There's so many things I want to pick your brain about. We just starting it off with the fireworks and the festivities. So just everyone out there, hang tight. We'll be right back. Cap or No Cap. Stay tuned.
Millennium TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
We're back. Cap or No Cap. I'm with my homegirl, Janaea Butler. Like she's so amazing and she has so much and she's bubbling with enthusiasm. And that's one of the reasons when I had this vision for this program, I wanted both yourself and Asha to be present. And notwithstanding, Asha's a Democrat, you're a Republican, and I'm independent. So that was the original scope of the show. Three different people, three different ideologies, three different ideas, which make good for a good conversation. Speaking of Republicans, right? You out here winning, man. What's up with Biden? He's giving us crack pipes for reparations and.
Can you say that?
He's out here giving us.
Speaking of Republicans, part, go ahead.
You out here winning.
That's a long time coming, too, Cass, especially being a black Republican.
That's right.
All these ignorant black folks that try to tell me that I was crazy, and now on the Republican bandwagon. Big up.
This man is out here offering us crack pipes in the name of racial equality and health and I'm laughing because I don't care nothing about neither party. I don't care about the Republicans or the Democrats. I care about creating an agenda and having everyone have either party be a friend to the agenda. But I'm sitting on the sideline with popcorn. Like I tried to warn y'all when he joined when he was Obama. Didn't really pick him. They picked him for Obama to clean up his image. But he's always said reckless things.
He's a reckless individual. But here's the difference between him and Trump. him and Trump, is that, both white men, and they both may have some adverse feelings about people of color. I don't deny that. But the difference between Trump is true to himself. He's not lying. He's not going to lie to you about how he feels about it.
Right.
But Biden is going to lie to us, and then it's going to
give you a crack pipe.
Right, exactly. Yeah, you care about us. You know us.
Yo, you know what I heard? When I heard that, you know what? The only thing that went through my mind. Do you remember "Lean on Me"?
Of course.
You smoke crack, don't you? Like, yo.
Exactly.
So I put a post out. I put a post out on social media asking all the Biden sexuals how do they feel now that he's giving you.
That was you. I see that. I was like,
how do y'all feel? This is your Black History Month and your reparations.
Exactly.
Oh man.
I feel like, okay, so let's go over that, Kat.
Okay.
This is really important, right? So right now you have Biden. Okay, so now let's just set the stage from a little while ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a little while ago we seen Biden go to Atlanta.
Right.
Remember he went to Atlanta
mm-hmm.
and he started talking about the voting rights. Oh, we got to get this passed right now. Why are you not still working on that? That's one, right? You're still not working on it because it was a bluff, okay? So all it was to show Black folks. Biden's numbers started slipping. People started saying, yo, where's Trump? Black people started saying, where's Trump? You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So then Biden's
foundational Black people started saying, where's Trump? But go ahead.
What you say?
Foundational Black people started saying, where's Trump?
Hardcore. And so then they said, okay, do something. So what they did was they said, okay, we need the Republicans to sign the Voting Rights Act. This is the single most important piece of legislation that if anybody cares about you, that they're going to sign, they're going to be with the voting rights, and the Republicans are not with it. But it was a bluff because they knew that the Republicans weren't going to sign the Voting Rights Act. They knew that beforehand. There's a whole bunch of disagreements going on. But because everybody doesn't listen, they put it out into the public. This is a mental ass whipping. There's the mental whipping that they're giving us right now, okay? Because in that, they are massaging our mental being. Let's say that, okay? Because they're telling us, look, the Republicans don't care about you. They're not going to sign this Voting Rights Act, so they did a big shindig around it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't work. And then Biden came out and said, listen, Black people, I'm going to put a Black Supreme Court justice on the courts, right? This is again to hold the vote until they can come up with something before the Republicans. Because what they don't want is they don't want the Republicans to talk to us, right? The Republicans have money right now to do stuff, right? And so the Republicans, they might not care about the foundational Black American, but they care about the votes they need to do what it is that they need to do. You understand what I'm saying?
I got it.
That's what we're looking at right now. So the Democrats put up bluff.
And it's crazy because the Democratic Party and being an independent, I could really criticize both of them because I don't have no allegiance. I don't have an allegiance in either party. But from my take, I try to convince myself I'm fairly intelligent, but this is my take on it. They get a hand, instead of putting the resources into the community like they're supposed to, they'll put it into an individual. And then you'll see little things like go vote and get some catfish nuggets and black eyed peas, like little like incentives. Like me voting now, I'm reduced to getting catfish nuggets and collard greens and black eyed peas. It's very insulting if you ask me. And then we even get your butt to the poll.
You want to give me some weed so I'll vote?
Right, you're gonna give me weed to vote, or they'll show strippers and get your butt to the poll. Now you got to go behind the scenes and said who funded that stuff. See, you got to follow the money, and when you follow the money, it goes back to the Democratic Party. And they're probably the worst when it comes to us because they play this game of benign and neglect better than anybody in the world. Now, going back to your earlier statement with Trump, the contrast between Trump and Biden is, in my humblest opinion, one is a white supremacist. I think Biden is a white supremacist. And I think Trump is a white extremist. And the two don't like each other. White supremacists do not like white extremists because white supremacists actually will codify everything. And that's where your crack pipe came from. That's coded. You know what I mean? That's coded language. So whereas the extremists will just say something like, what do you have to lose? You voted this way all your life. What do you have to lose? That's an extreme statement, but it's truth. The truth. If the truth hurt, you got to say ouch. You know, like what Trump did, and I get a lot of pushback from a lot of my friends that don't share foundational black lineage. Right? What he did was, he didn't do anything. He didn't pass a law. He didn't raise one finger to hurt foundational black Americans in America. Not one finger. What he did was he took the racism and he evenly spread it to other cultures. So now the Latin community's upset, the Caribbean community's upset, the African community's upset. Now, the reality is none of those people, none of those groups, I've never seen them as a cohesive unit speak out about the conditions of my group. Now, I have individual friends that I'm really cool with that may have done things as an individual. I'm talking about group. And I'm not going to expect them to do anything as a group. I'm just going to meet your energy, and my group need to get on code and do the same exact thing. You dig?
Right. No, absolutely. And again, that's the things that we need to talk about, what this blueprint needs to look like for the African American community, of all the things that we need to put in place where it comes to education, where it comes to politics. This is what you need to do. So, and it doesn't need to be, this is what you should do. This is what you're gonna do.
Right.
If you're walking with us to this next level, then this is what you have to do. And so we have to stop making excuses for ourselves. There's nothing wrong with our people. Listen, Kev, I've been in the trenches with our people.
I know.
Okay? I've been in the trenches. I've been in the homeless shelters. I've been on Rikers Island. I've been in the Boys and Girls Club. I've been in all kinds of places, okay?
Right.
All in throughout hip-hop. I know our people. And I know this. It's not a thing wrong with our people. We're just speaking a different language. Mm-hmm. That's what I understand.
And not only that, our language gets, it's murked. Meaning we're not separate. They just create one big black agenda. And we all are supposed to fit in that black agenda. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why that doesn't work. So anything negative in this country, we are the face of it. We are the face of COVID. We are the face of AIDS. Anything negative, anything good, or anything that's beneficial and good, white people, that's the privilege that they set forth. That's what you was talking about earlier. But when you look at, we'll take something like AIDS. We'll take AIDS, for instance, right? When you look at AIDS statistics and you say, wow, you know, it's running rampant in the black community. If you were to look at foundation, if we were to classify us as foundational black Americans, because not everyone could fit in that category. We're very special to America. And when you look at the HIV and AIDS rate amongst foundational black Americans, it's actually it's probably less than white people, believe it or not. But what they do is they couple it in with African, Caribbean, and if you're dark enough, part of the Latino community. And so it's just one big, this is the AIDS population for the black community. So, you know, I've been always pushing this, we need to be in a protective class. And the first thing we need to do to get in that protective class is identify ourselves other than African American, because that hasn't been working for us since 1988 when they gave it to us.
I like not identify. And I would like to talk to Reverend Jackson about that. You know, I would like to see what he thinks about that thought, right? So now that we came from the African Americans, I remember he was one of the people that said we should be named African Americans. But now that there's this huge mix and diversity in America, and everybody looks at anybody of color as African American. And see, that's the problem, is that we see color, right? We see color, and through seeing color, everybody is black, you know? Everybody but a white person is black, right?
Right.
So it's like, what do we do with that? You know, and how do we classify ourselves? Because I like that. And I think that we need to also, if we wanted to press for reparations, we could get reparations no problem right now. We could get it no problem. All we had to do was hold our vote. But there's too many of us that are tied up, their money is tied up in things that, you know, on the, you know, top screens of the media, so that they're not going to let it happen because they're getting paid. They don't want to lose their money. So they don't want somebody else to come and take their spot. So they're going to continue that piece. And so we might have to have a mini nonviolent civil war within our own community to get where we need to go. And that's something that we really need to look at.
That's so real that you say that, but I'm going to touch back on that. We're going to take another quick commercial break, and we're going to come back, and I want to touch just back on what you said about getting reparations, because I believe in keeping the needle on the record with that. I mean, but I don't sit around and wait for nothing, because I don't expect nobody to give me nothing. But I believe if we could collectively, we could take everything. But we're going to come back. We're going to talk about that, and then we're going to jump in a few more things. I'm so happy to have you on. But hold that thought. We'll be right back. Cap and no cap, right after this commercial break.
Millennium TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
No cap. I'm with my host, co-host today, Janaea Butler. I'm so happy to have her on. We were talking about how we could get reparations, and you said something very interesting. Interesting. I can't even talk that. Okay, you said something very interesting, and it's something that I echoed. Hold your vote. You know, because voting has always been a matter of quid pro quo, something for something. And so we're asked to vote, but we really never get anything out of it. And so, like, when you look at other groups, when you say, when we put the reparation word out, it frightens everyone. It's like, oh my God, how y'all gonna get reparations? Who's gonna pay for it? Slavery happened so long ago. So just for the record, the last living slave that passed away was, I believe he passed away in 1973 or 1975. That was actually in my lifetime. So lose me with how long ago that was. It wasn't that long. It's not as long as you're making it sound. And the country doesn't say anything. We give reparations to Native Americans, to Indians, pretendians, because those are really Europeans that are perpetrating a fraud of being Indians. But we'll talk, that could be another show for another day. We give reparations to Israel, whereas America did nothing to Israel, but we're paying reparations to her. I don't know why. Probably, some foreign policy, regional security thing, but don't call it reparations, call it that. You know what I mean? Then you're paying it to Japan. So how come foundational Black Americans can't get reparations? I mean, we built the country by scratch. This country did not exist until we came here and we built it. And we didn't all come here from Atlantic slave trade. Most of us were already here.
We can't get reparations because of ourselves at this point.
Okay.
Because the formula is there, right? The other people got the reparations. The formula is there. At this point it's us, because again, if we're not holding the line, holding our vote, all we got to do is tell anybody, we're not effing with you unless we get the reparations now.
And as long as you have people like Clyburn on the Clyburns and all of these guys in the world, it's not going to happen. You have
right
people.
Now, as long as you have Democrats.
You have people that will kill and die to be affiliated with the Democratic Party, and it's shameful because you have, what do they call, progressive Democrats, conservative Democrats, liberal Democrats, socialist Democrats. You know what they all have in common? They put another title on there to identify themselves away from us. You know that? So Hillary will say, I'm a progressive, or this person is a conservative, this person is this. All they're doing is saying, I'm not like these people, and these people are us. So, I mean, they lose me. I'm with you 100%. Hold your vote. Hold your vote.
But let's hold our vote for something, right?
Right.
And then we have to get out the way of our own self. Black people are holding themselves back. I'm not pulling no punches. What the pandemic did for me is that what are you doing? Like, I don't have time to sugarcoat what's going on. We're holding ourselves back at this point.
That's to a degree.
Listen, there's a system that's in place that does not work for us. Let me be clear.
Right.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that the system, we just walk through the system, everything is going to be good. But we're more powerful than the system, and we have already shown that, right, within ourselves. So if we look at the hurdles, we know the hurdles are there, right? Stop ignoring that the hurdles are there. Stop ignoring these things. Yeah, we want them out the way. Yeah, we want it straight, but that's not where we're at. And over all these years, we have still continued to shine, even though they put hurdles and blocks and mines in our way. And so now we cannot let that dwindle away because they're still there and we're tired. Our kids have to live through this, right? And we have to make sure that our kids get through another way. But if our people keep jamming us up to where we can't break through in a lifetime, then we're in trouble. Look what you're saying that they've done to us in a lifetime, right? And then in a lifetime, we're still trying to get voting rights. When we should, but in a lifetime, we put somebody in the White House, which is great, but...
You know what kills me with the whole voting right thing? The narrative in which they're using it. They're saying, they're making it hard, so people that you have to have ID to vote, right? And some people don't have $10 to get an ID to vote, right? And so if you don't have $10 to get an ID to vote, voting is not your issue. Economics are, and let's go back to that reparation thing. You know what I'm saying? That's my issue. Voting is not the issue. If you can't afford $10, you could vote and still not afford $10. The other problem that I have with the Voting Right Act here in New York, I don't know if they passed it or not, but you could be here illegally and now vote.
They tried to pass
What?
it, but the GOP actually sued for that, and that's crazy.
What is that? We're actually rewarding people for poor behavior. You here illegally.
Poor behavior, breaking the law.
Okay,
so
well,
my argument to that, Kev, is okay. So if they can break the law, can we break the law?
no, we get, yeah, but you got to remember, in the system of white supremacy, you know, like, and Dr. Claude Anderson, shout out to Dr. Claude Anderson, I love him to life. You know, he spoke about these things, how we were at one time the number 2 minority, what would you call it? The number 1 minority. I'm sorry, not number 2. We were the number 1 minority, and he said, he predicted that Latinos would replace us, and they did it on time in major cities. Now we the number 2. Now they push that stop the Asian hate, so they're going to make yet another group. So now we're going to have 2 other groups in front of us. We're the 3rd minority. You know, we should have ran away from that word a long time ago, because none of my people migrated here, but that's neither here nor there. We should have ran from the minority word. We were never minorities. And right. But now we're considered the 3rd minority. And so any resources or tangibles that's coming down now got to go through two other groups of people that have no connection to us whatsoever. And by the time we get it down, we're watered down. But meanwhile, they're eating off of our narrative. You're eating off the 14th Amendment. 14th Amendment, let's be clear, the 14th Amendment was really written for foundational Black Americans. It now benefits everyone, right? Except the group of people it was written for.
Yes. Yes. And we're you know, and that's the disgusting part about what's happening to us in this country, is that we're still on the bottom. There's that we put in place, and then we're still, you know, thinking. I think that's why they want to get rid of us. I think they want.
Yeah, I mean, this country needs Black people. I don't think they want us because they're.
No, it's not Black people that the country needs. The country needs a group that is at the bottom. That could be any group, right? It doesn't have to be Black. And so this is why they're trying to replace us with the Mexicans. The Mexicans work harder. Remember, they're looking for that slave, right? That American slave that was in the past. And I'm not saying that Mexicans in any way are a slave. I really love their work ethic, and I think they are actually pushing America forward, right? And so their motivation and their hard work ethic is really doing something for us, right? And so they might be coming over the border in droves because there's opportunity, and they want opportunity, and they're showing us again what wanting opportunity looks like. Okay, so we as the African American community, we're just a little warped. We're tired of it. We know the games. We don't want to play anymore. It's not working out for us. We're just gonna chill. Right. And that's where we're at with it. Like, I don't feel like listening to you. I know you're lying. I don't know where to go to get the other information. So I'm just going to shut down. And we're going to go ahead and live our lives. We're going to smoke. We're going to drink. Y'all come up with what y'all come up with. If y'all going to blow up the America, let us know so we can figure out what we do. Right. And that's how we operate. And it's no real fault of our own, but now we have to make a decision. If we make the decision, step up if you want to get up, right? We make that decision. Step up to the plate. We're going to walk you to the destination. We'll be in a better place, because that's just, see, the Mexicans are running across the border to change their lifestyle. And all they have to do is get across the border to change their lifestyle, right, Kat? Right. Well, we're already here. So all we have to do is change our mentality.
Yeah, I get it. Makes sense. I'm still keeping that reparation talk in my mouth, and I'm gonna show them. I'm gonna show them a mirror every single step of the way, because 85% of our problem is economics. We gotta be clear. Slavery was not a political issue. Slavery was not a religious issue. Slavery was not a social issue. Slavery was an economic issue. And this is what strengthened the country. Free labor strengthened this country. And I just want, when you run it, when you say it now, they're saying, oh, well, we could pay you an education. I want what you took from me. You didn't give me no education vouchers when you put my parents to work. You didn't give us any free, not free. You didn't give us any scholarships or any type of thing, incentives like that when you had them work. Give us, we'll figure it out. I could figure it out right now. We need to follow the Indians' model and create some type of economic package where we can sustain ourselves. And brain surgery is easy if you know how to do it. Republicans and Democrats. So the reason I don't believe in the far right or the far left is because both of them are far from the center. I want to get to the center where we can all work together, but neither one of them want to work together. But I'm going to take a real quick commercial break, and we're going to come back because we want to keep this whole politic thing in the vein. I'm getting ready to tell our viewers that you actually ran, and I want to find out if you're going to run again, because I need to get some of these voters in your district ready to vote. So we're going to take a real quick commercial break, and then we'll be right back with my host, Janaea Butler. Cap and No Cap. We'll be right back.
All right, I'm turning my chair around. I'm just changing the direction.
Millennium TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
Not yet. Cap and No Cap, we're back. I'm with my host, Janaea Butler. We were talking politics and hip hop. That's the name of today's show. So, talking about politics, you've ran for office. You want to tell the viewers what office you ran for?
Well, I ran for Congress. I ran for United States Congress in District 13 in Harlem, and then I also ran, District 12 in Harlem, District 13 in Queens. Mm-hmm. And so I ran for Congress. Congress makes the law, so I'll tell you why I ran for Congress. Is Congress makes the law. So between the Congress and the Senate, they pass the laws, and I want to be someone in Congress that represents for us and that writes laws in place that I understand, like, me being on Rikers, me on homeless services and things like that. I want to, really speak for the people, because I think that we don't have anybody that's, that's homegrown that speaks for the people, and especially in the hip hop community, in the congressional race. You got Hakeem Jeffries, that, after I started talking hip hop, he started talking hip hop and said that he's the hip hop congressperson, but he wasn't talking hip hop until I told him about it, so
Right.
I don't know if he's a hip hop congressperson. He's just young of hip hop age, but yeah, all right.
And now you have Jamal Bowman, who's also, with all fairness, he's also.
And Jamal again, come through the matrix, will you?
Right.
Jamal. I did some work with Jamal a few years ago at the Casa Middle School. Had a great middle school. He had
sure did.
hip hop programs going on there. They had brought me in there for hip hop programs, so he's hip hop.
Yeah, he is. I think his is more. I find his to be very more authentic because I know his school when he had the school. I know the school he came from. I knew the programs, and he was actually he was actually true to what he was saying.
He did the job, and he hired me and everything in my organization to do work at the school. And then when I ran for Congress, I actually seen the light bulb go off in his head. When I was at the Reverend Jesse Jackson conference, and I would love to talk to him about that, of when he decided to run for Congress. Because I know that I seen him when I was saying I'm a black Republican running for Congress. I seen him go, And the next thing you know, he was running for office, and congratulations,
right.
Is now a congressman in the Bronx.
I actually have him on speed dial, so I will actually get him on the show and let you ask him. Yeah. I mean, he's a great guy, and so far I like the work that he's doing because, I mean, for a minute when he first got on, they had this whole Rat Pack, like him, AOC, Mondaire, and all all of these are the new
and money together.
And now he's like really, I want to say he's separating himself, which is the best thing in the world to me because.
Oh, is he doing that? Well, because I was going to say that he's anti-me because, I had ran against AOC. He was on AOC's squad, and they was helping him raise the money. Right. So me, and I want people to know that.
She is so worthless. I mean, she hasn't yet to pass a bill.
Well, who's gonna sign on with her? Nobody's gonna sign on with her, and that's why she's ineffective.
And then when you confront people with this
experience, she doesn't have any experience, and we need to look at that. You're elected somebody that has no experience to be talking about any people anywhere, right? Nothing like a bar. Okay, so you talk to people at a bar, so now you're connected. And the most ignorant thing that I think that she did was when she went to the National Action Network and started talking in, I guess, jive, and started saying, we don't be wanting to be no waiter. Who are you talking to?
We don't talk like that.
Who are you talking to?
Right.
And so we continue to allow these things and these people to play games in our community.
That's like when Hillary went on the Breakfast Club with her hot sauce. You pandering.
Right. Well, listen, I'm going to put it to you like this, Kev. The people know that I'm not no joke because they know that I've been in the trenches, right? So right. I've been in the trenches. I've been in the hardcore trenches too. I've been on the island. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Hardcore on the island where people getting 25. Men are getting 25 to life. Okay, and I'm consoling them and understanding what are the conditions, what's happening as a result of this. So even with Rikers Island in our district in Queens, we have to do stuff. And me, I decided a long time ago that I was going to be myself, right? Like no matter what anybody did, Jania, be yourself. Be right. Animated, be extra, and all of this, and push the envelope, because that's how I always been. Mm-hmm. At 1,000 points, 1,000 rebounds in college, right? Mm-hmm. Because I pushed the envelope. So I still stay with this. And this is why I'm going to be a good congressperson or a good senator. And see, now I'm looking at my eyeball in the Senate because now we need more blacks of color in the Senate. There's one black Republican senator, and that's Senator Tim Scott. And we're just waking up to the Republicans and the Democrats. There's money on both sides of this. So our group of Democrats want us to stay desolate because they only want us to deal with one side of America's money. We got to open this up.
It's funny you say that.
Stations in other places too.
It's funny you say that because I get a lot of flack for going after Mondier, because Mondier, prior to Floyd, what's that brother's name that got killed? George Floyd. George Floyd. Prior, I don't know why I just drew a brain freeze. Prior to George Floyd being murdered, executed, he was tanking in the polls. No one was taking him serious. And once that happened, once they got the guilty conviction, he went up in the polls. So, but when you ask Mondier, what are your intentions for that district especially up in Rockland County? They're being gentrified left and right in Rockland County, and no one's saying one iota. These are foundational Black Americans being gentrified by Hasidic Jews that are taking over this area, and they deserve rights as homeowners too. Long story real short, Mondier's whole spew is in this order: gay rights, affordable housing, and food stamps. So now my question is, what if I'm heterosexual, right? There's no agenda for me. What if I don't want affordable housing, but I want to be a homeowner? There's no program there to show me how to be a homeowner? I can't have a piece of the American dream? And food stamps. I believe people should have it who really need it, but there's no, you're going to show me, can you show me how there's opportunity for me to gravitate towards being a business owner that I may never have to use food stamps? That's my problem with the Democratic Party, is that they create, they're a party, they're a dependent party. Their whole agenda is we need more dependency, and Republicans are like really quick to show you, hey, we're going to show you the game. You know what I mean? We're going to show you how you could get this money.
But that's because Democrats get their money based from poverty, right? So they're poverty pimps, and they, so Democrats, let's look at really quick what a Democrat and what a Republican is. So a Democrat is someone who believes that social programming is needed for drug addicts, welfare, we fall short, and
that's where you get your crack pipe, right?
That's why the crack pipe, harm reduction, and and I'm sure that somebody was writing something in a good place and they got sprawled
distorted.
Out of control. Mm-hmm. It was a stupid thing, but they've been doing that for years, right? Mm-hmm. So they've been giving people methadone to replace heroin, and all this other stuff, and giving people needles and stuff like that, and now they're giving out the crack pipes, whatever, right? But this is also discouraging to the Black community.
Right.
If you continue to tell the Black community that this is all you're about, we're going to go ahead and get $10 billion in crack pipes for you. Well, why don't you get $10 billion in entrepreneurship cash for us?
Absolutely.
Why don't you do something where we can take care of our own community? We don't need you Democrats to come in and take care of our community. We need you to empower those that can empower the people and know how to work with our people, right? We need you to empower the entrepreneurs that are out here struggling from check to check, trying to do something good for America. That's what we need you to do. We don't need you to hold down our people and decide what's good for them, and you have no background on that. You have no experience on what to do with our people. We've got to stop letting everybody put hands on our people. And so then when we look at the Republicans, we say, okay, what y'all about? They about this money. They about a capitalist mindset. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Each man to his own. Right? And help as will, but don't overtax, right? So Democrats believe in taxing, okay? Republicans want low taxes. Democrats want to tax your money. They want 70% of your money if you make over like $5 million or something like that. 70%. I dare somebody try to take 70% of my money. What you doing, Ken? You let somebody take 70% of your money?
That's extortion.
But this is what they're putting in place, and so you got, this is why these Republican billionaires and millionaires are complaining. I'm not giving you 70% of my money so you can buy crack pipe for these people that are not working, and I've been out here hustling and bustling my butt, you know. So that's what they're saying.
It's funny you say that.
The full argument here.
It's so funny that you actually say that, because a lot of the Republican values, if you look at Republican values, right, they really fall in line with foundational Black Americans. I can't talk about every other Black person. I could talk about my tribe. You know what I mean? It falls in line with it, but you know, it's a slippery slope. All I know is that everyone complained when Trump was president, and now you have Biden, and I just want to know how much. I asked them how much happier were you? You know, there was nothing on the table for me, and I chose to abstain. I didn't vote for either. I didn't vote either way, and that's my right as an American too. I really applaud you for running and having the spine to run. And I also, you know, I'm a veteran, I'm a veteran, and you know, I believe in veteran causes, and I try to get every vet that I talk to run, because they have a history of serving, just like you have a history of serving, and those are the people that really need to run. We need to stop voting for people, symbolic voting. We need to, right? That came out of bars, or because they're openly gay. That's not a real reason to vote for nobody. You got to vote for someone that has an agenda, that has a vision, that has a plan. But you know what? We're running. This was the quickest hour that I've ever encountered. I hope you come back next Monday with me. I had a blast. Cap and No Cap, you could catch us. We're on Roku TV. We're on Apple TV. Most platforms. Get whatever your device is right now. We're on Millennium TV 24. I really want to thank Millennium TV 24, because I always say, if I didn't have this program, I probably will be on the couch of someone telling my problems to. So I thank Millennium for giving me this opportunity. We need people that want to actually advertise. So if you want to advertise, reach out to us at Millennium TV, and we have really competitive rates. We'll be back next week, and I hope to have Janaea back, and I hope maybe Mr. King could come back, and we could have. Now we'll still have the Democrat, Republican, and independent conversation. The reason why we have it is so we don't. All three of us are going to have different views, but we got to respect each other's views, and I understand everything that you're saying, and I understand some of the things he's saying. But let's try to find not the left, the right, but let's get into the center. Until next week, Cap or No Cap. We'll be back. Peace.
Let's take a selfie, Kevin. Hold on.